welcome to another episode of From My Mother's Basement, the show where we talk about anime, manga, video games, comics, sci-fi, tech, you name it. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael, and we have a friend joining us this week.
Maybe. Let's see if I can get them in. It is... Courtney!
No way! Courtney, yeah, it's me. Hi, I'm Courtney. I like stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff these guys talk about.
Stuff is
and I am their friend.
Yay, friend.
And she's a fellow nerd, so it's all good.
Yeah.
The nerd longer than most of you old children in the chat room have been around, been alive. I was watching Sailor Moon when you were in diapers.
Goddamn, since you ain't got no goddamn respect. That's what your problem is. I remember back in the days of Speed Racer and Star Blazer. Shit.
Yeah.
Children today ain't got no respect.
Yeah.
Crap.
I think we broke Jason in the first 3 minutes.
This would be a great episode, I know it.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't even shown you guys the awesome thing that I got. I was going to wait till the show to show this off to everyone. But I had some things arrive in the mail today because I'm sure you all know that I'm a huge anime fan. So I finally bought myself Yu Yu Hakusho Season 4.
Nice.
Finally. I've seen Season 3. And I was really excited for Season 4. And then something that I've been talking about getting for a really, really, really long time, because it's not on Netflix, and I've been watching it, and it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3-pack movie sets.
Sweet.
$11 on Amazon. Like, I always have a desire to watch this when I'm sick or if I'm tired, I'm having a bad day, and I finally got it, and I'm so excited to watch it this weekend. So, yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Or if you're missing one of the Corys, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want cheesy 80s movies, and like it's perfect. Well, wasn't 80s. This was 90s, I believe. But so what? I'm happy.
It's awesome stuff.
It's turtles. Who cares?
Yes.
You like turtles.
I like turtles.
All right. Well, shall we jump into something to talk about?
Oh, where do you want to start? Do you want to do the good, the bad, or the ugly?
You know, Mike, I'll let you give the choice first.
Oh, then I'm going to go with the ugly.
All right.
So,
yeah.
You guys remember last week we were all talking about how
No.
the thing with you weren't there, Courtney, but everybody else who remembers, we were talking about NBC and their stupid decision not to live stream the Olympic opening ceremonies. So when we rushed off the show, I went and watched it, and the things were very funny, and it is amazing how stupid the hosts were. I mean,
yes.
Oh my God. If you were watching the trending Twitter post during the rebroadcast, one of the trending things in Twitter was "Shut up, Matt Lauer."
I remember reading about that afterwards. I didn't see that live.
Because they were like talking. Oh, what was I forget his name, but the guy who invented the World Wide Web that they had up there. They're like, oh, and this is so and so. And I'm like going, I know who he is. Da, 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 da. And Nikki's like going, okay, Nikki didn't know that, but I knew it. And I'm like, okay, that's really cool. They brought him in there. And they're like going, and the host is like, I don't know who he is. Go Google it.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Didn't one of them state something along the lines of they thought it was Al Gore or something, like had a hand in that?
It's like, what? Do you not read the briefs? So that and
You
it
don't
just
say that on TV.
no, you don't.
Say it off camera. Or you do it off camera. Oh, I don't know who this is. I'll Google him. You know, do it before you go on air. That's what I do.
Informative when you're in front of the camera. When the camera's off, you can be as dumb as you want, but
Yes.
Yeah, no, you do not revel in the fact that you're dumb as a box of rocks when you're on camera.
No.
Unfortunately, it didn't get any better. If you've been watching the feeds this week for especially for when it came to like swimming and female gymnastics on the primetime feeds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! I posted a little bit of a rant of it on Facebook, but basically, there were points where they'd show us 4 minutes of content, 6 minutes of commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I actually timed it at one point, and then they'd come back and they'd play this. Oh, the backstory of such and such swimmer, blah 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 blah. We'll see their next heat after this. Mm-hmm. What? I don't care about. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I care about the athletes. I care about their performances. I think there was some incredible things that happened this week, sports wise. And I'm not a sports fan, but I like the Olympics. And I just wanted to.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'd rather
just
see
that.
more sports and more competition and less backstory. Think about how much more they could have fit in. No,
ads.
Kitty, don't go away.
Or ads.
And Kitty
In
went
fact,
away.
a good example, earlier today, I wanted to watch the women's soccer. And I already knew the score because I saw it online between Canada and Great Britain. But I wanted to see how it was going to turn out. And, okay, so it starts off in the first 12 minutes. Canada has, a goal, so it's 1-0. Then they cut to commercial. And when they come back, it's 2-0. And they didn't explain anything about that. I was
and they don't do a quick backfill or anything. The place they really did a lot of that with was the women's volleyball.
Yeah.
With the two women from California who were like unbeaten who had like a 30-set streak of no defeat, which was incredible as hell to watch. Yeah. And then, of course, we can talk about the Gelfling and the girls' gymnastics team, a.k.a. Maroney. She looks like a Gelfling. She does. But my God, can that woman vault.
All right, should we stop ranting about the Olympics because we can spend the entire show on that?
I just have one last thing to say. Give that shit back to ABC. NBC, you fucked it up. You can't have it no more.
I'll go
give it to ABC.
Beyond that. I say give it to BBC. That's for another topic of the day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some good news.
Good news.
I think all of us are good, comic book fans, especially Marvel, since they've been doing, to me personally, I believe they're doing a really good job with all the Marvel movies. Of course, leading everything up to the Avengers. Mm-hmm. They made an announcement recently about who's going to play the villain in Thor 2.
Can I say it?
Go for it.
Can I say it before I explode?
Go for it.
It's Chris Eccleston! The Doctor, my Doctor. Yes, Chris Eccleston, the 9th Doctor from Doctor Who, and he is so amazing. And I'll admit it. I'm a terrible geek. I haven't actually seen the first Thor movie, but now I want to see it, so I'll be ready for the second one, so I can see Chris Eccleston.
I'm not sure how much this will affect you, Courtney, because I don't know your opinions on such things, but every woman, with two exceptions that I know who has seen it, has first Thor movie has just spent the entire movie drooling over Hemsworth.
Well, duh. He's hot.
Whereas when I was watching the first Thor movie, I was like, wow, I could really notice a really bad level of special effects.
Actually, the effects weren't that bad in Thor.
Yeah, it's me nitpicking. I'm a nerd. What do you expect?
Yeah, I nitpicked a few myself. The gatekeeper guy was kind of freaky, but yeah, no, the Doctor as aka Destro, aka.
What was his character's name? I forgot.
The character that he's going to be playing in Thor 2 is called Malekith.
That was
Malekith
it.
the Accursed. And
that was it. I knew it was a big, long, fancy name.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it real quick. But the funny thing about it is that the way the character is designed in the comic books, he looks like a goth got stuck in
the 80s.
Or in West Hollywood.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing Christopher Eggleston done up as an 80s goth kid. It's just...
Aren't we all?
Let's see if I can bring that up.
It should be fun, though. It should be fun.
Let's see. Come on, picture mode.
Who knows what, how it'll look differently or how they'll update it from here. Whoa.
Oh my God, it's Roxo, the rock and roll clown.
Blue side on the right is better. So if I said blue side on the right is better, would you understand that reference?
I would totally understand, except I don't know that you can get Frank Gorshin to go along with you on it.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do.
Jason didn't get it.
I did not get it. No, I'd be stupid. I know.
Star Trek original.
Thank you.
Series.
Thank you. Okay.
God, wow. How long has it been? Wow. Never mind. I'm a nerd, but the wrong kind of nerd apparently.
Not as nerdy as us apparently.
Exactly.
Well, I'm the old man of the crew, so I'm expected to know everything.
Oh, please.
Anyway.
All right. What should we get on to next? Michael, you've been talking about this for a bit, about how Star Wars The Old Republic is going free to play.
Yeah.
It kind of screwed you, didn't it?
I've been playing SWTOR since it launched. I was really looking forward to it. The original Galaxies was my gateway MMO drug. That's what got me into MMOs. In fact, I played that one for like 5 years before I finally killed my account. I'm glad it's going free to play in some aspects. I'm kind of annoyed in others because they just renewed my 6 month on SWTOR the day they announced they were going to free to play. So I get my thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I got my thing renewed. Great, I'm good for another 6 months. Then that afternoon, Star Wars: The Old Republic going free to play. And I'm like, fuck.
But isn't it only to like level 20? Like everything else goes.
No.
There are some limitations.
Yeah, there are some limitations. You can still go. You've got some racial limitations as to what races you can run. There's like operations, which is their version of raiding. You can't do unless you're a subscription. There are other stuff. There's a lot of, but you can still go levels 1 to 50.
Okay.
So I don't raid anyway, so that doesn't bother me. But I do like having the multiple races. That's kind of handy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's just like that there's a good amount of flexibility. You know, they're considering the hardcore players and new people. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's really becoming a trend to go free to play in the video game industry as well. And a lot of companies make good money off the free to play stuff because they do microtransactions and there's advertisements and other ways to get money. But this way, you aren't excluding any players. If the people want to do free to play, they can do that. And if they want more, then they can do the subscription fee, which is still fairly reasonable for an MMO.
Well, and there's a lot of games that started out subscription that move over to free to play.
That's true.
And when they moved over free to play, their profits in I think it was DCUO. Their profits went up 300%.
It was Dungeons and Dragons Online.
Yeah, that's the other one. Their profits spiked when they went free to play with microtransactions. Yep.
It's just a completely different business model, and yet it works.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, good for them.
And unfortunately, unlike you two, I was not able to get into the beta, so this is now the perfect time for me to go check it out myself.
Well, you're not going to be able to do it till November.
That's fine. I still have to get back on WoW anyway, so.
Well, you know what? When you get in there in November, come to my server, Lord Praven. Go Sith, because Alliance is boring.
Sith!
There we go.
Yes. Go Empire. I love how Sega fan of the room. It's like, advertise quest, collect 5 Coke Zeros in Planet Cola.
That's nice. That's nice.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, like I remember a bad version of free to play. I did the Pirates of the Caribbean online.
Oh God.
And it was awful. And if you wanted to pick up an item to complete a quest, you had to pay the subscription. Oh, you want to go on a quest? You want to do a side quest? You have to have a subscription. I'm like, how is this free to play? You can't actually do anything. Stupid.
It's like stupid.
Kitty.
Weak ass demo mode.
Here, kitty.
The kitty returned.
The kitty returned. There's definitely going to be lots of shots of kitty.
All
Come
right.
here, baby.
There's another.
I can aim it at him.
The other.
Kitty.
Speaking of WoW, briefly, there's a lot of one of the other podcasts I listen to called The Instance that also has a Tor edition and a WoW edition. They're talking about how it's going free to play and everything, and the general consensus from everyone, from a lot of things I've read, is Blizzard's probably not going to go free to play anytime soon on WoW because they're still making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
But their new IP, their new MMO, that they still haven't announced what the hell it is yet. There's a lot of rumor going around that one's probably going to be free to play. But that's going to be their entry in the F2P arena.
But didn't they just recently announce that they lost a significant amount of players in WoW over the past year?
But they still have several million.
Oh, yeah,
I was going to say, they lost, what? They lost 1 million out of, or they dipped like under 10 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's still an asymmetric shit ton compared to any other really MMO ever.
Yes, it is.
I know that I was reading some articles from several analysts stating that because of this is the downward trend and it's going to die off in 5 years, and I'm like, that's kind of extreme.
It's actually, if it survives another 5 years, it will still be the longest lasting MMO ever.
Yeah. Well, no, that's EverQuest, which is still going on. The original EverQuest.
Okay, you're right. It is still running.
Holy crap.
Looks crappy, but it's still running.
I forget how old it is. I know they just had an anniversary. I think it's like 20 years, maybe?
No,
although I wish the original
they weren't
PS.
I'd moved to Anaheim just out, so that was, we're talking like...
It was in the 90s.
Late 90s, 99.
You know what? That's what Google's for. I'm going to Google it because I'm on a computer.
Let's Google it.
EverQuest launch date. I got this one. See, this is what I tell viewers. I'm like, you don't want to know something? Google it. Stop asking me. You'll find it out faster.
There's a wonderful site that I have for that.
1999.
Google it for you.
See, I was right.
So, what year is it? 2012.
Yeah,
So,
it's 13 years. It's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
So wait, now I can do the math. World of Warcraft. When did that launch?
7. No, I think we're in 5 years now.
You can figure this out live.
The game was released 2004? No. Blizzard. They announced it in 2001, and the game was released in 2004. So that one's 11 years old. So if it goes on for another 5 years, then it'll be 16 years old. Mm-hmm. And then technically it'll be longer than EverQuest, assuming that EverQuest suddenly stops. But if they keep going, then EverQuest will.
As long as they make enough money to keep the servers going, they will.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they'd be stupid not to. It's like free money. I don't think they're even developing expansions for it anymore, are they?
For World of Warcraft? Or no, for EverQuest?
No, I know
they are. They're still doing for expansions. EQ? I know that, yeah. I know there was one that was released this year in March as part of the anniversary. But yeah, they still do it fairly regularly.
Wow.
Because, if there's a fan base, the thing is with MMOs, in order to keep your fan base, you have to constantly be adding new content, especially to the end game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are like, well, I did everything, so okay, bye. Done. Yeah. And that's what to do.
That's why WoW gets all these. That's why WoW gets all these rises and falls. It's like they'll release a thing, it'll spike for a while. Then you'll get everybody, will reach end game. They'll be able to prolong that out through patches for a little while. Mm-hmm. And then between the last patch and launch of whatever the next one is, in this case, Mists of Pandaria, you're going to see a plummet in subscriptions. But the minute the expansion comes back, those people go reactivate their accounts.
Yeah, for like a month, and then they're like, okay, bored now. Oh my god, I want to play this game. Yeah. Sorry, that's my impression.
I'm really looking forward to the pandas.
But that's
a lot of people are not.
With the MMOs is that you can go to other games, and I'm like, hey, this new shooting game come out. I can spend a month on that, and then go back to that MMO, and your character will still be there. So that's always nice.
It'll always be there as long as you pay for it.
Well, that's actually something relatively new, because there used to be other MMOs. Final Fantasy XI comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep, played that for several years.
So did I. I was grindtastic hell, but it was gorgeous. But if you leave the game for X amount of time, they'd shelve your character and wipe your shit. So if you tried to come back, you had to start from scratch. And then they found a way to resurrect you. But for the longest time, if you walked away from Final Fantasy XI for more than 3 months, your characters were gone.
Yep.
Well, I talked to Michael about this last week, but I'm going to ask Courtney now. Because now, the whole debacle with Final Fantasy 14, and now that it's coming back with The World Reborn
2.0,
will you give it a shot?
I never really planned to. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You'd think if I was going to, I would have done it by now. But I haven't. I might.
Yeah, because I know
if you had done it before now, you would have hated it.
I mean, I remember seeing at E3, all the, however long ago they were demoing it, and their biggest feature is that, it's going to be on 3 multiple screens, and it'll look really nice and pretty. But that demo machine kept crashing every 20 minutes.
So my roommate's singing the Star Spangled Banner, and I'm like, dude, I told you I'm doing a webcast right now.
Why are they doing the Star Spangled Banner?
It's like she forgot I was here.
Did you sing it better than the 11-year-old kid at the one baseball game?
Maybe. That's a little hard to tell.
All right. Well, let's talk about a little bit of censorship.
Do I post pictures of my cat on Reddit? Not yet. But I should. Look how cute he is. He's so cute. Just laying there all fluffy and
pet me.
Sweet. Pet me. What's that? We should just make this the whole show. Courtney's cat. Lying here looking cute. There you go. All right.
Courtney's cat, do you like what kind of catnip do you like today? No. All right, well, let's talk about a little bit of censorship that I don't agree with.
Okay.
Yeah, so Batman's always been a very dark character, and of course everyone's heard about the tragedy that happened in Aurora, Colorado. The WB has made the announcement that because of the incident, the event, that they have a new version of a new Batman cartoon, which they have one every year and a half anyways, It's called Beware the Batman. This is apparently a full CG Batman this time around. And they're actually going to tone down now the gunplay in terms of they've gone back, apparently at a great expense, turned all the, machine guns into like boxy, futuristic things.
Mm-hmm. At least they aren't getting rid of the guns and doing pointed fingers like they do on 4Kids. Hold it right there, Seto Kaiba, or I'll point my finger at you. Sorry, wait, like this.
Oh, I remember that. Holy crap.
Yeah,
right up there with the bad tees and then digitally painting bikinis on the girls in the bathhouse in Tenchi.
Yep.
I mean, do you guys think this is, the proper response to this, or should they just have just kept away?
You're asking a gun over owner if he thinks this is a bad idea.
Hey, I'm starting the conversation on this.
No, seriously. I think it's going overboard. I think the world's too PC as it is. Mm-hmm. And while I don't think we should glorify violence, I think that toning down, I mean, the Batman franchise on the cartoons anyway, except for the OVAs, if you will, has always been. It's had guns in it, but they've still been seriously downplayed. I mean, you never really see them actually. It's like the G.I. Joe fights in the '80s, where you can throw a ton of missiles and lasers and bullets in the air, planes blow up, but everybody ejects, nobody gets hit.
All the red and blue lasers everywhere.
Yeah. So
that's part of the whole. Sorry, please continue.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say part of the Batman lore is that he doesn't use guns, and yet he fights people who does have guns, and like, hey, look how awesome I am without one. Is it overreacting? Maybe a little bit, but at least I think they're trying to be moderate about it, and instead of just getting rid of guns and changing the scripts and all that crazy stuff, they're just kind of making it slightly less realistic. So I suppose I can sort of roll with that, and I think it's silly to make a big deal out of it, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. The
it's
whole
a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
It's going to come down to what's the end result. I mean,
and then
we won't know for sure until we actually see it.
Yeah, and in the end, like the shape of a gun on a cartoon show is not important. We care about the story and the voice acting and the writing. Exactly. And some of the animation, like, who cares what shape a gun is? Like, it's not a big deal.
And
it's really about other stuff.
I feel sorry for whoever takes over the Joker.
Yeah.
Because them some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But in all situations, I mean, even this is not the first time this has happened, and there's been other events like this has happened in the past in American history, that people will go out there, these companies will start changing either movies or cartoons and whatnot to try to get rid of all violence if that they can.
What was that? What was that one movie they were talking about where when 9/11 originally happened? There was a movie that something that was in production, and they went in and they went back and they had already shot footage with the towers there. And then they went in.
I remember reading about that. Yeah,
I thought that was one of the Spider-Man movies.
It may have been. Yeah. Where they went in and digitally removed the towers from the footage they had already shot. And it's like, really, guys? Really?
I don't understand it. If anything, it brings. I mean, yes, things like this need some attention in the sense that, okay, this happened. Yes, it's horrible. Let's make sure everyone is okay, and let's get past this. When you start doing things like this, like taking down the weapons, and it doesn't make sense because it limits what the initial intent of those stories and those cartoons and those movies to be.
Well, also the fact that it's reactionism. It's like this thing that happened in Colorado. Yes, it's a tragedy that one man tried to be a supervillain, but it's the gun rights people have been all, this is why we need more more concealed carry permits. The anti-gun people are like going, this is why we can't have guns. And you know what? You're both wrong. One guy, sick son of a bitch. It happened. Now you need to address that. Not
all this is doing is giving more attention to that guy, which is exactly what he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think it's stupid. So
there was one case where I think they were right to pull something or at least delay it. And that was an episode of Buffy. In season 3, there was an episode of Buffy where this character, Jonathan, was going to, or Buffy was able to hear voices. She was able to hear people's thoughts. And she heard that someone was going to like kill a bunch of students.
That was I remember this.
Yeah. And she thought that this kid, Jonathan, was going to take a rifle up to the bell tower and start shooting people. And it turns out that he was going to kill himself instead. And she stops him. But this episode was supposed to air right after the original Columbine shooting.
Right.
And they decided to pull it. And they aired it later.
Right.
But I think that's a case where that was probably a more appropriate action to take.
Yeah,
it didn't affect the overall plot. It was still very ripe in people's minds, and they showed it later.
And the nice
but
thing
they didn't overdo it.
In the case of episodic television like Buffy, where it's a monster of the week scenario for the most part, they could do that. They didn't take it and it never saw the light of day. They did bring it back on eventually. So yeah, there's being sensitive to the concerns. Right.
That makes sense to the people who went through it.
Exactly. To this thing with WB, like I said earlier, until we actually see it, we won't know if it's too much. Right now, we're jumping in shadows.
Then again,
if I were WB, I wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Don't say anything. Don't make a big deal out of it. Your audience would never know.
This is them trying to say, we're sensitive.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No, this is them trying to say, watch our show, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Please watch our show. We need ratings and money to feed ourselves.
There haven't been a good Batman cartoon since the original animated series back in the 90s.
Although, since we're on the topic of guns, and guns are very good at killing the undead.
Yes.
There's a movie coming out that we need to see.
Yes, very much so.
Jason, you have the Redband trailer for it.
I do. We'll be nice and say there's swearing in here, but we've been swearing the whole episode anyway, so.
That's true. We've earned our explicit tag this week.
Oh, no, I haven't cursed enough, but I'll make sure to do it more.
All right, there we go.
Drop more F-bombs, Court.
Fuck.
There we go. All right, we're good.
Well done.
Right. All right, the movie is called Cockneys versus Zombies, and we'll talk more after the trailer.
That looks pretty hilarious. Okay, dumb question.
Yeah.
Just because I was looking at a tiny screen. Was that Michael Caine?
No, it was not.
Okay, it was a guy who sure looked like Michael Caine. I thought, man, that'd be hilarious if he was that guy. That's just so dignified.
That's on the list of import movies I want to see this year. The other one that I really want to see, I wish it get picked up by a major distributor, is Iron Skies.
Is that the zombies or the Nazis from space thing?
Nazis from the moon. Yes,
that's right.
Right.
And
wait, I thought it did. Like, I thought I saw a trailer for it.
It's out.
Somewhere.
It's out, but they don't have a major distribution deal. So you have to petition to get it to show. There's a bunch. They're trying to get the fans to get it a wider release.
Right.
Just release it everywhere. It's gonna be awesome, anyways. It's gonna be a cult classic.
Just come to LA. Everything shows in LA.
That's one of the places it's showing. It's only showing one night, but it is showing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I definitely want to see Cockneys versus Zombies. That just looks too much damn fun.
Yeah, it comes out the end of this month in the UK. Maybe it's all the leftover Olympians. I have no idea. If you win, you get a medal. If you lose, you become a zombie.
Oh,
that doesn't leave very many people.
You don't have to worry about China. They're all freaking robots anyway. My God, did you watch the diving?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That was impressive. Anyway, enough about that. Let's see, what else we got on our list here?
Well, we can do a couple different topics. We have, are we overdue for next-gen video game consoles, or is streaming anime set to destroy physical distribution?
Let's just do them both.
Do them both?
I want to do the one below that later, but there's a reason.
Let's start with the first one. Next-gen video game consoles.
No?
Not
time yet.
Time yet? Really?
I mean, yes, there's still room for improvement graphically and power-wise for the Xbox 360. The PS3 still has plenty of life left in it. The Wii needed an update at least. Okay, so I guess yes and no, but at the same time, Like, developers don't like having a new console come out every couple of years because you have to relearn how to make a game for that new console, which requires new systems. And then it takes so much time that a lot of times launch titles are not very good. It takes a full year before games get good again.
And then they have to learn how to port it between all these new systems. With
yeah. And like, only the Wii needs it.
The only thing I agree with you for the most part, Courtney. I think though the PS3 is very badly lacking in the RAM department.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could come out with a higher RAM version of the PS3, that I'd be down with that.
I thought there was a newer PS3 model that's supposed to be coming out, but that might just be a rumor. There's a lower cost PS3.
Okay, but that lower cost means I guarantee it's not going to have more RAM.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we could always go back to the Nintendo 64 days where they had the little adapter you plugged into it that would double the RAM on it or something like that.
And remember what it did to the quality of the gameplay?
Yeah, true.
When you pop that sucker in there?
Well, then maybe they could do something similar where it's an add-on and whatnot. There's a number of freaking ports on it they could use.
The thing with, and I know you and I talked about this briefly the other week, Jason, that they can, even if they were to add the RAM, the games have to be programmed. A lot of developers would have to release patches for their games to take advantage of that RAM.
True.
Because they're used to writing writing a program for a game that only has 512 mega RAM. All of a sudden you pop that up to 2 gigs. It's still only going to take up 512 mega RAM because that's all it's programmed to access.
That's one of the main reasons why I actually believe it's like 2012, 2013 was the right time that they should have started announcing the new consoles and moving forward with it. Yes, there's still more life that they can pull out of the 360 and the PS3, obviously, but given every single time they've always been so far behind the PC market, and that's, some people say it's dying. I believe it's stronger than ever.
I think the PC. I think if anything, the PC market is growing lately. And it had a serious downturn for a while, thanks to the 360 and the PS3. But I think of late with with what Blizzard's doing with Steam, there's been a large uptick in PC gaming lately.
And the whole thing was, I find with consoles that they're always trying to play catch up. They would definitely have to do a massive jump to get even to a point where they would be relevant compared to PC titles for several years. But then again, you can't keep it at that $399, $499 price tag.
I was going to say, you make that kind of jump, there's no way you're going to be able to keep the price point, even if you do it as a loss leader. I mean, they said the 360 was launched, it was a loss leader.
Yeah,
they were selling it for something like $150 less than what it cost them to make it, because they were making all their money on the licensing.
Yeah. But there's also things like what was it, Unreal Engine 4? I mean, that's been announced,
that's gorgeous,
and whatnot. Absolutely amazing what you can do with that. My question is something of that caliber able to be used on current gen consoles? I mean, Courtney, what do you think about that?
No, I don't think they quite have that power. Maybe the PS3 does. PS3 is pretty damn powerful still. But the thing is, it's so much easier to upgrade and see advancements on PC gaming because it's the guts, it's the pieces of the computer that get upgraded and are constantly changing and evolving. Whereas with the console, in order to upgrade the system, you have to buy a whole new system.
It's like
you have to upgrade the entire system. It's all or nothing when it comes to consoles, and that's why they don't keep up as well as a PC does.
And I know it gives developers, they have to strive for more pixels, more designs, greater levels. And it gives them a challenge on that, and I understand that and I appreciate that. I still think that consoles are still, even though yes, I have a 360 and a PS3, and I used to have a Wii. They just sit there collecting dust. I use my PC for all my gaming now.
Well, yes and no. I mean, for me, I have to admit, my PS3 is mostly my really high-end, constantly updating Blu-ray player. But I also play a fair amount of games on it. The thing about the PS3 is like Courtney was saying earlier, there's a long way to go with that because they haven't even begun to use its full potential. Out of the games that are out, how many of them actually use the 1080p functionality?
Good point.
most of the games you get out there are running 720, maybe 1080i. And the machine's not breaking a sweat. Now,
I don't know,
you start firing some of the 3D at it, that gets a little chunky.
A little different.
But for
who wants to do 3D gaming anyway? It sucks.
I've never been really a big fan of
if I want my 3D gaming, I want it to be holodeck. I don't want it to be goggles.
Yes.
Oh, if only. But okay, so I guess we're a little bit agreeing, a little bit disagreeing on this topic and whatnot. Final thing though on this, Courtney, do you think that Sony and Microsoft will announce the next console at next year's E3 or wait longer?
Maybe Microsoft, maybe, but probably not Sony.
Okay.
That's my guess. Yeah. It's still a little too early to predict that.
Well, hasn't Kaz and the rest of them said flat out they're not working on a console for at least another 2 years?
Wait, who? Who said that?
Was it Kaz Hirai or whoever the head of Sony is?
Oh, yeah, that would be for the PS3. Yeah, I mean, the PlayStation consoles have always been ahead of their time, which has allowed them to have the nice long 10-year lifespan. And I mean, people still buy PS2. I mean, there are very, very few people making games for it anymore, but look how long it's been around and how long it's lasted. And the PS3 will last just as long. So there's no reason for them to start. Plus, here's the other issue. Once you announce a new console, you need to put it out quickly, because when you announce it, it cannibalizes your sales on your current console. Because some people who are thinking, okay, say I'm thinking I'm going to buy a PlayStation 3. I'm going to go to the store next week and do it. And then tomorrow, Sony announces PlayStation 4. And in my brain, I go, wait, well, do I really want to buy a PS3 or do I want to wait until the PS4 comes out? So in that case, they might lose my sale or my purchase of the PS3. So they really don't want to announce it until like they're close to ready to do it.
It's damn near ready to go.
Yeah. Now, what I would do if I was Microsoft, just based on the way that video games come out, when the popular ones start coming out in September. So I would do if I was Microsoft would be announce it at E3 and then launch in September with like Halo 4. Or whenever Halo 4 is coming out. I don't even know.
Or launch holiday with TGS.
Yeah, well, no, not TGS. Microsoft isn't quite big enough in Japan. They wouldn't do it with TGS. They wouldn't do it.
I'm saying in conjunction with TGS, I mean, if they launch, because if they announce it at E3, they launch it at holiday, because TGS is November.
Really? I thought that was earlier.
No,
I would think that they would launch it a little sooner, but it depends, because they have to have launch titles ready.
Right.
And that's harder to do. I mean, I've heard rumors that people are already developing games for next generation systems, so I wouldn't be surprised if by May next year we know something
As
more.
long as they learn the lessons that Sega had with the Saturn. Hey, look, here's a Saturn. It's all fantastic. It's coming out in 3 months. Developers, now you get your kits.
Yeah, no.
Yes. But then they made the Dreamcast and then all was better.
until they rolled over and gave it up.
Yeah. But still, there's actually several developers still making games for the Dreamcast. I love the fact that they do that still.
Wait a minute, who is?
There's several indie developers still making games for the Dreamcast.
Oh shit, now I gotta go get a Dreamcast.
I think I have 2, so I might get you one.
Actually, I'll take one. Because when I split with my ex, she kept the Dreamcast, so I wouldn't mind having one again.
Dude, I found one for like $15 in a resale store. You can find them for cheap.
Yeah, well, like when I went to SakuraCon like sometime early last year, I went there and they had a Dreamcast with Sonic Adventure for $20. I was like, done.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Mine came with a free version of Soul Calibur in it because someone left it in the machine. Unfortunately, it didn't work.
Oh.
But still, it was nice.
Okay. Nice little surprise, just wish it worked.
Pleasant surprise.
Yes.
That didn't work, but whatever.
All right. Well, wow, it's already 47. Okay, cool. Let's move along. I'm sure we can get through this one real quick. So, is streaming anime set to destroy physical distribution in the States? Just focusing on just the United States. What do you guys think?
Well, it depends. The thing is, there's a lot of stuff that's still not available on streaming. Mm-hmm. And some people really do like to own discs still. They like to own their anime and be able to watch it whenever. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's going to kill. It's definitely made an impact on DVD sales, and luckily people are, especially Funimation and Crunchyroll, are wising up to the fact that people want streaming, and so they're offering it in addition to other ways of selling their product. So I don't know if it's going to kill it per se. Although I've heard a lot of people say that eventually streaming, like everything will be streaming, video games will be streaming, movies will be streaming. The big thing that's stopping it right now is the lack of high-speed internet. Like you'd think that everyone has it, but it's actually not as big of a percentage of even Americans who have high-speed internet as we think that there are. So it's not really feasible yet to have everything always be streaming. So you do need to offer that medium for people who don't have high-speed internet or don't have internet at all.
Yeah, I think it's actually sorry, Michael, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, my thought on it is the streaming will be a nice padding, if not a nice push into people wanting to get the physical copy of a series. I mean, you have Funimation, Crunchyroll, Viz to a point. We'll talk about that in a moment. That those
Viz is jumping wholeheartedly into that game.
Yes. Well, let me finish this and we'll go to that. My whole thing is that people will watch it on the streams. People will enjoy it on there. And then I guess a relatively good sized percentage of them, once the stream is done, they'll probably want to go own the full copy either on DVD or Blu-ray themselves. Because more often than not, they're coming with special, bonus features and maybe little toys and whatnot with it. I think it's a time.
I don't know.
I mean,
I have to disagree, because there are a lot of people who make that argument of why it's okay to pirate something. Like, oh, well, I'll buy it eventually when it comes out. I'm like, no, you probably won't, because you'll probably forget.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can just watch it for free again. So
I and a couple of my friends are some of the few people who actually follow that. If you see it online, you watch it, you like it, actually go buy it, so that it tells the companies that that's the kind of thing you want to see. I've got shelves and shelves of DVDs to back that up. But the problem with the streams, and I'm going to take a slightly different angle than that.
Okay.
With the exception of what Viz has put on, a lot of what Viz has put on Hulu, which I think is going to go away once they start firing up Neon Alley, and it's going to suck because everything they're putting on stream is dubbed, except Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll's getting it straight from Japan. But Crunchyroll only gets it. Crunchyroll, also keep in mind, Crunchyroll started as a pirate site.
Yeah,
that's true.
And then it went legit. They got enough of a following that they were going to go to the companies going, okay, we've been showing your stuff. We've got the audience. You want us to go legit? We want to go legit. Give us the license. And that's how they kind of strong arm their way into that market. But with Funimation's new thing coming out, Viz is coming out with Neon Alley. They're gonna be doing this on-demand stuff, which will be great. But it's all freaking dubs. Now, realistically, as much as it pains me to admit this, 90% of your viewers don't care. 90% of your viewers don't even realize there was a Japanese track.
I almost want to disagree with you on that because of the sole fact of where everybody knows where the anime is coming from. I mean, obviously, if it's coming from Japan, there's going to be a Japanese dialogue, which is going to come out before the English dub.
But your Pokemon kids, your Yu-Gi-Oh kids, your Narutards, they don't care.
True. Yeah, but you're also just kind of making up that it's 90%. Like,
okay,
you'd have to
you're right.
We don't know what the actual number is, but there is a good chunk of people who don't.
I understand.
No, honey, it's 85% of all stats are all made up. Get it right.
See?
Out of all the people I know, there's only one person that I am personally friends with that actually prefers the dub over the subs. They will not watch it subtitled. And I guess it kind of ties into what you were saying, Michael, because they grew up with the Yu-Gi-Oh! And on TV and whatnot. So they only knew it as such. And when they watched those series back in Japanese, it sounds foreign to them, pun intended. But
right. And I think part of it's a generational thing. And one of the reasons I watch a lot of the stuff Viz puts on Hulu is because they do put it up subbed. and you can see the original stuff. And a lot of the series, and not turning this into a dub-sub conversation, the stories change between the English version and the Japanese version a lot of the time.
Yes.
Unless you've got a team that puts care and effort into maintaining consistency.
Not every.
Well, it also depends on. It's not always the story, and it doesn't happen as much lately. Like, there's not as much censorship, but sometimes things like puns don't always work, or some jokes don't always work because it's a completely different culture and a completely different language, and that I can understand.
Yeah,
I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah, a good example of that would be Nichijou or My Ordinary Life. I watch it on Crunchyroll and I laugh my ass off at it, but it's so ridiculously filled with, the Japanese puns and whatnot that if it was, say, brought over stateside and thrown on United States TV, it would just flop, so freaking
if they did
fast.
Literal translation, yeah.
It would not work over. I mean,
sadly, the Japanese love their word games.
Yeah, and sadly, not, every single dub could be done by Ocean Group, but,
Yeah.
That's true. That's
or
true.
New Generation.
Yeah, true. So, I guess, for me, I said, I like it. I like the streaming. It moves into purchasing, but then again, that's what I do. So,
I don't think it's going to kill. I just wish they had an option, and they can't tell me the technology doesn't exist because I know it does. I just wish they would give you the option to switch between dub and sub.
Yeah, that would be nice to just have audio options.
Yeah,
because there's some things, some dubs I really like, and others I just cannot stand to listen to them. Okay. So to have that option would be great if you could just. I don't know if the technology is there yet to switch between audio and subtitles in streaming versions, but if they get there, that'd be awesome. Or what they might even have to do is offer two separate streams. Here's an English stream and here's a Japanese subtitled stream.
Which is what Funimation does on their website.
But it might cost more money.
Well, no, it's just
more licensing issues. I don't know.
Well, the technology exists because that's what SAP is.
Okay.
And if you just take the same, because the only real difference between SAP, English with SAP over the air versus English with SAP over the wire is mainly the transmission medium. So if you just take that same signal and instead of spinning it over the air in broadcast frequency, you put it into an audio stream, muxed.
Yeah, it's there. It all depends if they actually want to take the time to put that in there. So
right,
we can complain and bitch all we want, but it's up to the people at the top saying,
yeah,
okay, we're
you'd have to ask someone who actually works for a publisher these kind of questions because they can tell you the real deal. We can only really speculate.
Right. I mean, next week we have the CEO of Funimation. No.
I've got a card.
Same here, so.
Hang on.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
Who can kidnap a guy.
I know a couple guys who do that.
Yeah.
Hang on.
All right. Well, while you're looking that up, wow, we almost gone for a full hour, so let's wrap this up quickly with what we've been watching. Michael, you want to start off on this?
I wanted to talk about the rover, but okay.
Yeah, let's talk about the rover.
You want to talk about Rover and just jump a little?
Well,
we can go longer.
They're dropping a Volkswagen on Mars.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not literally a Volkswagen, but it's the size of one.
VW, no.
It's effectively, they said it's the size of a VW Bug. It's got a nuclear engine, and it lands Sunday night.
Wow.
So if you happen to be awake, it lands at 1:30 Eastern time, and they're going to stream it.
I know there's, I think Science Channel is actually doing a bunch of specials during the day for that. Twit.tv is doing live stream commentary. So
yeah, so if you happen to be awake at 10:30 Sunday night, go to NASA's website. They're going to stream it.
Sweet.
That'll be pretty badass.
Now, can I control it with the joystick?
No.
Damn.
But there was a Kinect demo program you could pull down that
cool.
You could basically handle the landing of it using hand motions and whatnot for thrust, and that it was basically a high tech version of the old lunar lander game. Only you're landing the VW on Mars. It's
Sega
Fanachek goes, and now the Martians have nuclear power.
Nuclear power.
That's right.
Now we've done it.
Yeah.
Soon it'll find the Mass Effect relay, and then the first contact war will happen, and we're all screwed from there. But don't worry, that's not for like another 100 years. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm telling you, if Sovereign shows up, I'm out.
no, we should all be dead. By
Oh no, Courtney's you started lagging out a little bit.
Sorry.
There you go. You're fine.
My roommate probably got on the internet.
No worries.
Whatever.
Completely,
We're almost done.
On a tangent real quick on that. I still left that Zach from A&N on his free time in late night, he will get on his laptop and stream crappy
Video games?
No, she's back. All right. Crappy video games, and she'll stream them. We lost you for a quick second, Courtney, but you're back. So, but recently, he's been playing Mass Effect. He finished Mass Effect 1 last night, like at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's hilarious because I'm hearing him, I know he had a few drinks, and he's getting frustrated as hell at it. And it's just entertaining. And I think tonight or tomorrow night, he's starting Mass Effect 2. So.
Oh. Did he kvetch about the hero shot like I did?
I don't remember. I was very tired.
The Superman pose at the end of Mass Effect?
Yeah. At least hands weren't on the hips, so.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, let's. Do you want to skip to what we're watching? And just
I can tell you what I've been watching because I kvetched about it at the beginning of the show.
Well, aside from the Olympics, what else have you been watching?
Olympics.
Not much anime wise. This has been between prep for the meetings that I was having this weekend and the Olympics. That's pretty much what's been on my plate. Because I want to watch the Fab Five kick ass, and they did.
And it's over now. Yeah, I don't care about the Olympics anymore. I like women's gymnastics, and okay, I'm done.
Yeah, that and watching Phelps kick Lochtey's ass made me happy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It made my roommate happy, too.
Ryan Lochte is one popped collar away from Jersey Shore. It's just...
Although I love all the memes that pop up with Michael Phelps saying, don't smoke weed, they said. You'd never amount to anything, they said.
Yeah.
Did you see the Colbert thing on that?
Mm-hmm.
Colbert actually is talking about, he's like going, yeah, the Chinese are bitching about him taking drugs. And he's like, yeah, you caught it. And he shows a picture of, Phelps being caught with the bong. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, he smoked it and he beat you. He smoked the hanky stanky and he still beat your ass.
All right. Courtney, have you been watching anything lately aside from just the Olympics, or?
Big Brother and Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef. You guys know that I watch crappy reality TV. We know that soon I'm going to be watching this.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I sent you
your And of course this. Oh, I dropped it on the floor. And I've been watching Fushigi Yugi because that got re-released, and I'm very happy with the re-release. It looks really nice.
Okay. All I can remember from that is Tomohome. No.
If I turn around and try and watch it, am I still going to want Miyaka to die in the first 6 episodes? Because I hated that bitch.
Maybe. Miyaka's not as horrible as I remember her being. Just make sure to watch it dubbed.
Really?
That's sure.
Okay.
No, sorry, I meant subbed.
I was going to say, because the English dub was grating as hell to my ears.
Oh, I hated her. I wanted her to die so bad.
She has a few redeeming qualities. She's noble, she's nice, she cares about people, so...
For me,
Whatever.
I haven't really watched much lately. I've been doing a couple of late night first impressions, so I'll grab a random series online and watch.
Yeah, what was that one you were telling me about that you were just tearing apart?
What was tearing? Oh, Kokoro Connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one.
Quick thing about that. 5 high school people get together. They've been pushed into a club because they can't get into any other club out there. And what ends up happening is they mysteriously start swapping bodies with no explanation whatsoever. The plot is thin, the dialogue is crappy, they're one-dimensional characters, but the thing is...
Who confess about masturbating to each other.
That was just a joke, but it was close enough in that situation. But the thing is, though, there's little pieces here and there of the dialogue and the storyline that give a sense of something larger is going to happen near the end. And so I'm like, okay, fine. You got me a little bit. I'll watch a few more episodes. And if this big, mysterious thing doesn't happen, I'm going to have alcohol ready so I can survive it.
I sense a drinking game.
Yes. Oh, there's such a drinking game. Yeah. Take a shot when they swap bodies. They swap it 3 or 4 times a show. So, yeah. That's what I've been watching.
In it.
Yeah. That, and I'm still trying to beat Final Fantasy 13, so...
You went
Still?
Still,
You've been
yeah.
playing that for years.
I know. I still need to.
Hey, I went back and restarted it the other day, Courtney. I made it about all of an hour and a half into it, and I haven't been able to get back to it since because
All right. Anything else? We're good with this episode. It's been really fun. This has been great having you on, Courtney.
Thank you. It's been fun being here. Nice to see you guys again.
Oh,
yes,
definitely. Great to have you here. We should have you here again in the not too distant future, hopefully.
I think we can arrange that.
Oh, yes. Well, before we wrap this up, Courtney, aside from your Twitter, the Anime Goddess, anything else you want to promote?
No,
Just
not
follow
yet.
you on there?
Not yet.
All right.
Wink, wink.
For all you people out there, it
Wink,
means
wink.
follow, and you'll know what she's talking about.
Yeah, soon enough.
Yes.
Maybe another week or so. I'll be announcing something.
Yes.
A thing.
And of course, Michael, do you have anything besides your Twitter, Digital Panther?
The Twitter that I hardly use. I should start putting my Facebook up there at this point. I post more there. No, not really. I'm still waiting for the official word before I can officially announce my official position at the official new show.
The official thing with the officialness of officiating.
Oh, well, in case you haven't heard, Courtney, it's official that I'm working Japan Expo US.
Oh, yeah, no, I heard that.
So the only thing that's up in the air is they haven't cemented my title yet. So
Sounds official.
I know what I'm doing. I just don't know what I'm being called yet. Other than, hey, you, tall old guy, come here.
Tall old guy, I like that. Nobody would ever call me a tall old guy because I am none of those things,
I wonder if there's a
especially
Twitter account
tall.
You can put that at the tall old guy.
Don't
There you go. That's a great Twitter handle.
All right, and of course you can catch me on OtakuLife, Jason, where I post random things throughout the day. So, all right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for joining us in this episode. Big thanks to Courtney for joining Michael and I on the
Oh, I'm
show.
the Courtney. I like that.
She's the
The
Courtney.
The Courtney.
Oh, I'm the Courtney. The Almighty, and don't you forget it.
Damn straight.
Oh, wait, I didn't swear enough. Don't you forget it, motherfucker.
Repent, motherfuckers.
Repent, motherfuckers.
Oh, penny and stocking.
It's a great catchphrase.
Love it.
Anyway.
As always, you can catch more information on the website OtakuLife.net. Every Wednesday is a new episode of Anna Break. New good shot of the kitty. Let me get a full shot of that.
There we go. One last shot of the
Kitty.
kitty. I mean, there's my baby. There's
So
my
resisting the urge to make a quip right now.
fat, fluffy fucker. That's what he is. I love him. I love my little boy. He's a cute
Don't you have a short hair gray too?
No, she has long hair. But yeah, I have a dark gray one too, wherever she is. She's not. Selin likes to lay with me in bed. She does it like when I'm sleeping. So, ow. Hey, don't do that. Don't scratch me. But yeah, she's around somewhere. She's just not around as often.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you guys next week.
And brief post show or no post show?
We'll do a little post show. Brief
Okay.
one.
but I need a Band-Aid.
We'll make it quick then.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.